Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Looking for Love in All the Wrong Dust Jackets, a show where three disgruntled harpies talk to you about everything we love in romance, whether that's books, movies, TV shows, whatever we like. I'm Liz.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Wiggles.
And welcome to the episode. Today we are discussing the relatively new movie, You're Cordially Invited, with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. But before we get into that, I have to warn you, I got to let the people know that we are crass and unhinged. We're terribly unladylike, and we're going to talk about all of them naughty times using all them 4-letter words.
Woot woot.
Wiggs, what's going on with this movie? Give me some fun facts, some facts that are fun.
I'm really trying to, but Google Shopping has trapped me and I don't know what to do. Send help, please. It's funny, but it's not at all. So, you're cordially invited to these fun facts. The movie was mostly filmed at Great Waters Golf Course, which is part of Reynolds in Greensboro, Georgia. I don't really care about any of that, but apparently they shut down the entire course for like several days.
Oh, I'm sure that pissed some people right off.
Yeah,
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, I'm sure if you golf, that matters more. I couldn't be bothered. Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon are actually the ones singing Islands in the Stream as the credits start rolling.
That didn't shock me at all.
No.
Yeah. It was written and directed by Nicholas Stoller, and Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell also served as producers, as well as obviously being in the movie. And that's kind of, that's pretty much it. Like it's new enough that there isn't a lot of information about it. So yeah, it's an hour and 49 minutes.
Wow, really, really scraping the bottom of the barrel of the facts there.
It's an Amazon original. So all things that you needed to know. Danny, what's this movie about?
This movie is about a man whose daughter is getting married, and he books this very certain, very special place. It's where him and his wife got married. She has passed away, but through a series of unfortunate events, which we will go into because that one was weird and kind of cracked me up and made me sad at the same time. They don't have the booking, kind of. Like, it was supposed to happen, it didn't happen, so they show up on the day that she's supposed to get married, and there's another couple going to get married there, and that is being run by the other bride's sister, who is Reese Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they are hilariously antagonistic to each other, but decide that they can pull off the two weddings in the same place. It'll deal, and shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it.
Well, okay, let's start at the beginning. The two like proposal or engagement reveals I thought were pretty cute and gave you enough context for who these people were. I'm glad that they didn't spend too much time in the before wedding stage, because even when they got to the actual location, I feel like it took too long to get the rest of the way there.
I feel that, but I also feel like the movie really dragged as well. Like, I know we're talking about the beginning, but I think it happened on the end as well, where you're like, okay, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're done.
It did have some pacing issues that way, where it drug in certain parts. But I agree, though, that I did like the way that they kind of presented these two main characters and the main couples for the weddings.
Yes.
I mean, you got all of the backstory very quickly, which is good, because I mean, the whole point of this is the funny ha-has. We don't need backstory.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I think this is an Amazon issue, not necessarily the concept or script of this movie in general, because Amazon, I don't know what they do to rom-coms, but they're like, what if we made them slower? And you're like, what if you didn't though?
They're not supposed to be.
Why would you do that? That's such a crazy choice you've made.
Well, this movie is like, it's a farce, right? The whole premise of booking the same place and you now have to like run into each other constantly is very farcical, and that's supposed to be fast paced.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be 2 hours. Like, when I saw that this was almost 2 hours long, I was like, why?
I know.
I thought the same, because I got home and was like, okay, I'm going to watch this movie, and then I pulled it up and I was like, 2 hours? What the fuck?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem was they did too much of like tit for tat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have cut some of that stuff out. That, you know, go with the best material. You don't got to keep all the the material in there.
Yeah. And they really, really wanted to hammer home the fact that Will Ferrell's character Jim and his daughter Jenny have a really close relationship.
Yeah.
At times is endearing, and at times you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I think they even gross themselves out a little bit sometimes. They're definitely a duo that if you saw walking down the street, you'd be like, oh, I don't like that.
Well, the biggest moment of that is they sing the most inappropriate song together.
Islands in the Sun.
Yep. And I do like that there's actually a legitimate explanation to why that's the song, but she didn't even know why that was the song. And so when they're doing it, and they're doing it in front of not only her wedding and wedding party, but this other wedding and wedding party. And I was so pleased when the other bride was like, so this is fucked up, right? And I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. They're singing a love song to each other as dad and daughter, and it was really uncomfortable.
And a sexual love song at that.
I had a friend way back when that told me once that her dad used to sing the song to her, I've been waiting for a girl like you. Yeah. Danny made a distinct face that you're probably making at home. But like, I guess it was a song that soothed her as a kid. And so, you know, you work with what you got. You get the kid calm. You know? But that's what that reminded me of. It was just like,
and I mean, I get it. Sometimes you sing weird songs to kids to get them to calm down. I have done it babysitting many times. But you don't really need to inform them of which song they liked when they were a little baby.
Nah.
And you definitely don't sing it with them as an adult.
As a duet.
yeah, that was weird.
In front of, I couldn't quite gauge how big these wedding parties were, or like, because they didn't seem that big. And then all of a sudden there would be a lot of people. And I'm like, so do we have like 100 people in your wedding? Like,
that's what
in your
I
wedding?
was thinking. That
Yeah.
was 100 people.
Okay.
I thought maybe Reese Witherspoon's character's sister's wedding was slightly bigger because they're a more mature wedding, because Jenny is 19.
So that's the funny part, right? And this is part that I didn't like. I'm pretty sure they're right out of college.
Yes.
And so they're 22-ish.
Yeah.
And they dress them all like they're 16.
Yeah.
But that's how Gen Z dresses now.
Is it? I've never seen any Gen Zs dressed like that.
Yeah, but we are in
Yes.
the Midwest, and our Gen Zs are weird.
Yeah, we are more subdued here in our fashion choices.
In the same way that we didn't fucking dress like they did on like the teen dramas when we were growing up.
Okay, but
either.
nobody dressed like that.
Oops, people did.
Sure?
Apparently.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Go ask Paris Hilton or Lindsay Lohan. I don't know this shit.
Well, when you're living in Stars Hollow, you shouldn't be dressing like that.
Well, talk to the Gilmores. I got nothing. Okay, I'm just saying they dress like that now.
God. Well, they acted like it too, and I was like, I know I'm getting old, but I cannot be this old. My siblings are prime this age, and they don't act like that. Why do they act like Valley Girls? All of them.
Because they're not from the Midwest.
No.
From California, so fine.
So the Valley Girl might have something to do with
Yeah.
that.
Might be fine. I don't know. I just found it like I found it really funny at times, and other times I'm just like, I got married at that age, and I don't remember being like that.
I was gonna say, is this partially a personal grave?
Maybe. It might be.
I will say the thing that they did have that we had definitely in common with them is an overabundance and confidence in who we are as an adults.
Yes.
That was unfounded.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
And when we planned our parties, we did not focus on the right things.
No.
Correct.
I loved the like, I don't know if she was maid of honor or just wedding planner, bridesmaid.
Heather.
Yes.
She was honestly my favorite character.
She cracked me up so much because she was very much like epitome Gen Z in the worst way. And also like the way she was like, okay, but here's the thing, I'm really good at planning parties. And I was like, there's gonna just be shots everywhere. And then we get there and it's like there's shots everywhere.
There were, but did either of you like the kind of classy shot tower? I was like, I kind of like that.
Dude, I could honestly see that being at any of the weddings we ever had.
Right?
That's true.
I was like, it actually looked really nice.
Yeah.
And served a purpose.
Yeah.
I think we would all die now, but we're old.
We're too old for that.
Yeah.
That has to be a missed opportunity.
I did also really like when Jim is asking her, like, why didn't you double check? Why didn't you call and double check the booking for the place? She's like, I have anxiety talking on the phone.
I can literally do anything except talk to someone on the phone.
And I was like, that is accurate.
That is very accurate.
Yes.
I can literally do anything as long as it doesn't involve talking to somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
I do love, she was a ride or die though. Like she just like popped up out of nowhere at all times when her bestie needed her though.
They all those bridesmaids, they
Yeah.
were like
Yeah.
a fucking army. The amount of time that they spent trying to tackle her father in various scenes, I was like, you guys are real ones for that.
For real, though.
What are you doing? We're forming a wall.
I guess we're forming a wall. Okay. That group collectively made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My other favorite character was the groom from the other wedding.
Yes.
So Dixon was his name because he was the most down to earth, just like, maybe we shouldn't do this. This seems like a bad idea.
Fucking loved him. He was a sweet baby angel too.
Yes.
Like he wanted to support his bride, but at the same time he wasn't getting listened to. So I appreciated his moment of like, here's the thing, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did what your sister said instead of, listening to me.
And I'm the person marrying you, bitch.
Well, and his like the things he wanted were so like just of course, yeah. He didn't want to get married without telling her mother that she was pregnant. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that seems pretty fair. Seems
Mhm.
pretty fair.
Yeah.
Also, don't go on the dock. It looks dangerous. We have a lot of old people.
And he wanted Rascal Flats.
And you know what? That's okay.
It's
Yeah.
a choice.
It's okay.
It's okay.
He was a stripper.
I don't know what that has to do with Rascal Flatts.
I know. That also cracked me up because there were various moments where they showed him like doing a dancey dance, and you're like, "Oh, sir,
Mm-hmm.
you really are a Chippendale, aren't you?"
I do really appreciate at the very end, we finally got our Chippendales dance moment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that her family was totally fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would really hate it if my brother-in-law did a exotic dance for me. That would be bad.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It wouldn't be something I would want to experience.
I would be like, couldn't you have just gotten your friends to do it and you maybe not partake in this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Let's make it weird for everybody.
And I am saying that with absolutely zero judgment or shame at all to anybody who is an exotic dancer.
Oh, hell no. Go at it.
Like, fucking go off. I will watch. I love watching people doing pole dancing,
Oh, hell yeah.
mostly because that looks like it requires a lot of skill to do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But if I'm related to you, even by marriage, I don't need to see it.
yeah,
Correct.
no. Mm-mm. None of that. No, thank you. I also liked how that family in general were portrayed at the beginning and how like they definitely were pitted it almost against the like Will Ferrell side of the family where it's or his family where it's like we're so close, it's weird, and then they're like we don't even talk to each other, I don't even know your kids' names, right? The Reese Witherspoon family was honestly the more interesting dynamic because it was more realistic and
yeah, it's the fighting and misunderstandings for most of it. It's
mm-hmm,
well, you've never come to visit me. You never invited me,
mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Well, that's, yeah. Because that's the whole dynamic, right? Is Margot, Reese Witherspoon's character, lives out in LA. She produces reality TV shows, and her family is all back in like a Georgia area.
Yeah, I think they live in. I think the whole thing takes place in Georgia.
Sure. And so her and her mom do not get along
Mm-hmm.
because, misunderstandings and not understanding.
Lifestyles.
Yeah, really. But we find out through the movie that like they've all been kind of faking it and just like pretending to be better than they are or better off than they are to please their mother.
Also, they don't give her credit for anything. They were sure she was going to throw a big bitch fit when she found out that bride was pregnant. She really didn't. She was happy. She didn't really care.
Yeah, but you also have to wonder, like, all of the children have gotten there together, there's a reason for it.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's just, I think it's a thing where maybe they didn't notice that she was growing as a person.
Yeah.
As they all got older, because people do. There are definitely people that would have maybe thrown a fit about that earlier on in their life, and then they're like, you know what, it's fine.
I really thought the joke was gonna be that Gwenny and their mom already fucking knew. Like, as soon as they saw the pooch, they were like, yep. And like, that was them joking. They were like, oh, I don't know how you're gonna hide that. Like, I thought that was the joke, so I was disappointed that it wasn't.
I just don't understand how they didn't figure it out. So is it Nevi, the bride? She comes out in her gown and she's showing. Like, I mean,
Like,
she's showing.
She's like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. Like, it's not like, oh, maybe you're a little constipated.
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
not a little pooch baby.
No.
It's a poppin'. I love her comment. She's like, that wasn't there, or that showed up overnight. I was like, that's not how that works.
It actually kind of is.
Really?
Yeah. Speaking as the only one in this room who has been pregnant, I didn't show, and then all of a sudden it was there, belly button and all, like, boom. And I'm like, what the fuck? You were not there 2 minutes ago. Same thing with when she dropped down. In a matter of a couple of hours, I had been sitting down. I stood up and all of a sudden was like, why can I breathe all of a sudden? Because I couldn't for so long, because she sat up in my lungs until the day before she was born. But yeah, all of a sudden it was like, oh my God. To the point where somebody who had seen me 2 hours earlier all of a sudden walked around the corner and went, and pointed at me.
It's happening.
Even her belly button was showing, though.
Yes, it was very pronounced.
Well, and she also had a tight sheath dress.
Yes.
So that was also poor planning, because if you're pregnant, I mean, it's going to show at some point. You want to have a little give in your dress region.
Well, there is also the possibility that she didn't plan on getting pregnant and she had already chosen the dress before the situation.
Yeah, we don't know. All we know is that they booked did they book it a year in advance?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So she could have had the dress 8 months ago and she's been pregnant for 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, that you can tell in little ways that both families are rich, or they have a rich person backing the wedding. Because at one point, literally, Margot, thank you. Margot is like, can we get a peplum here on the dress? And it's like, you're literally just adding pieces to a fucking wedding dress the day of the wedding.
I was confused about that as well, because it looked perfect when it was done. And so I was like, how did you have fabric to do that with?
Right? Like, did you just have more fabric of that dress? Like, anyway, so clearly she's got not just a stylist, but maybe even the designer at the fucking wedding.
Possibly, because I think they kind of have old money, and then she's also got new money on top of the old money, is kind of what it seems like.
Yeah, her family definitely seems rich.
And then Margot's a producer of
reality TV
insane
show.
reality TV.
One of them is called Is It Dead?
Yeah.
Well, we do find out at the very end, that Jim is also rich, because he's the CEO of Delta. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a kind of funny, like, little punch at the end, because it was like, I don't know what this man does. I thought he was fucking retired.
Yes.
Like, he has very much retired man energy.
Well, also his house is not like a big rich person's house.
No.
It's just like suburbia house.
It's kind of a cute house, actually.
It is, yeah.
I think that kind of explains a lot about Jenny and her friends, though, too. They're rich kids.
Yes.
And it shows.
Well, and especially it kind of shows that he doesn't necessarily spend his money that much on himself, but he definitely does on her.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it definitely explains why they're all just like, wow, we're going to do whatever. Like, oh, consequences have not been a thing in your life.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and with, like, when he goes to apologize to her, he needs to talk to her, and they all show up in the elevator. He's like, what the hell? Don't you guys have jobs?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, they probably don't.
Well, I can't remember what the joke was, but it was something along the lines of, like, in this economy. And I was like, yeah, you should have a job in this economy. You're going to get fucked.
Also, she lives in a very expensive looking apartment.
It had an elevator. I don't know why to me that screams expensive when you get to have an elevator in your apartment. Not in her apartment, but the complex.
I mean, my old apartment had an elevator and it was not an expensive place.
Her
But
place is bigger than yours.
Yeah. It was huge for an apartment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And very sunny.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about their getting to this resort island place. So it's set out on this island in Georgia,
Yeah.
and it's so small that apparently at the venue they can only accommodate one wedding. Like that's the setup for it. But I was kind of confused because they kept talking about Margot and Nevi, that they were always there with their grandma. So there must be locals living directly on the island.
Yeah, they said that their grandmother had a house
Yeah.
on the island. And they clearly had enough rooms for everyone because everyone is still staying at the resort. They just didn't have enough like space to have 2 receptions and 2 ceremonies.
Yeah, they make it seem like on the land that is the like reception area and everything, they really only have the one spot to get married, which is on the dock. And so he's like, I can't do this. Which, by the way, if you're gonna split it, why wouldn't you just do like Saturday this couple gets married on the dock and Sunday this couple gets married on the dock? Like, if you all are gonna stay there anyway, why didn't you just shift one way and do a pre-reception or something?
Well, Danny, this is what happens when you try to apply logic
I know.
to these types of stories.
Rom-coms can't have logic.
No.
As soon as you apply that to the situation, nothing makes any sense.
You could say that they couldn't move the dates because guests were coming for only that day.
That I could understand.
But yeah, they definitely didn't split it right. I'm sorry, you both don't get to get married at sunset.
So why couldn't you do a sunrise sunset situation?
Because sunrise is at 6 in the fucking morning.
I know, but
I get
You
married at
could
6 in the
not
morning.
Pay me to get up early enough to be in a wedding that was at 6 in the morning.
No.
I mean, correct. But also, why is sunset so goddamn important? Do it at 5 o'clock.
I don't
Yeah.
know this bitch's life.
It's one of the selling points is getting married at the dock on sunset.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely you can't split the sunset like that. I think it was the owners who even said it, like, you can't do that.
He was like, can you even clock the sunset like that?
Which, I mean, you can, but you can't make weddings be timely.
Correct.
It don't work like that.
Well, and how this goes about is he calls and reserves. He actually did reserve it first.
Yes.
But he calls and reserves it. She says, because the old owner, she says, okay, cool. I just need to get a working pen. I don't need your credit card. You're a friend of the family, blah, blah. And then he like hangs up the phone as she was trying to like write it down with a non-working pen. She drops the pen and she has a heart attack and dies.
Yes.
And it is now her son running it.
Which, to be fair, you didn't call and double check.
Well, that was my thing. I'm like, nobody ever talked to them again. Well, and that's to Margot's point too, is she said, I've been on property 3 times since I made the appointment, like I made the reservation. Why haven't you guys?
Well, and it all comes back to the whole group that is on Jim's side with Jenny as the bride. They're all very immature for their age, and
Yes.
that's an immature age anyway.
That's what I was getting at. They're like acting like they're 16.
Which also kind of leans a little too rich kids thing for
100.
me too.
Yeah.
If you've had no consequences.
Why wouldn't things just work out for me? Why would I need to go check out the actual location? Why would I need to follow up with a phone call? Things just work out for me.
Not today.
Not today.
But I do like that they play that immaturity all of the way to its consequence of them not getting married or getting married and getting annulled and just being like, we're not ready to get married yet.
Yes.
Scratch that.
I also thought it was a really good choice to have the young immature wedding against what's clearly like, this is an intelligent decision. We are getting married because we want to be together forever, and we understand the consequences of what we are doing going forward, which is why that couple's harder to shake.
Yeah.
Even though they've got more issues to work through.
That couple makes me so happy. I don't know why. It's something about them. I'm just like, oh.
Nevi and Dixon are very cute. And I love the fact that she is constantly like sticking up for him, because even though he is an exotic dancer, which is totally a okay profession, but obviously
and you can make good money on it, especially if you look like Dixon.
Yes, you can. But of course, her family, being the rich old money, don't really like that. But she's like, and nobody talks about the fact that he was a field medic in the National Guard.
I know. And he's like all down to fix things when medical problems go wrong.
Yeah.
Because Margot gets bit by an alligator.
I hated that fucking alligator scene.
I
It was
did
so
too.
weird.
It was awful.
It did not need to happen at all.
I think, like you said, Wiggs, editing was needed. You should have
Yeah.
just said, that doesn't work. Get out of here.
Yes. The problem is they set up the whole end of the movie to be contingent on that fucking alligator.
That's true.
So I think by the time they got to the editing floor, it was too far gone. They were like, well, we got to keep that fucking alligator bit in there, because otherwise none of this is going to make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, then they have to do at least some reshoots.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially his dirty suit at that point.
Right?
Well, he had a dirty suit because when Jenny's wedding goes south, because Margot has pretty much sabotaged it, and then she thought she saw the groom, whose name I don't remember. He's a DJ, and
He don't
honestly,
matter.
he dumb.
I don't dislike him, but it's an immature relationship.
He
Yeah.
he was dumb.
He was
He
a
was dumb.
big
But
dum-dum.
you're right. He was in a sea of dum-dums.
Yeah.
So, but Margot thinks she sees the groom making out with one of the bridesmaids. It just happened to be another groomsman. And that causes Jim to stop the whole wedding and tell Jenny. But anyway, so Jenny gets really mad at him after all of the shenanigans, and he jumps into the lake after her. So he could have had a dirty suit from that.
Yes.
The alligator wasn't necessary. The only part the alligator was necessary for was when Margot got bit and Dixon had to come and give her aid.
I will backtrack though. When they have the whole revealing that the groom was making out with a bridesmaid sequence, that to me was one of the most awkward things to watch there, because her reaction, Jenny's reaction, comes into play when the groom is doing like a really awkward groom's dance. And let me just say, don't do those.
Yeah,
You
no.
always look stupid. But anyway, and the reaction of like, well, now I'm just gonna make out with anybody in this vicinity was so weird, and I just wanted it to be over.
Yeah.
I was like for it until the makeout thing happened. Like I was for her just like ripping him a new asshole and everything. I unfortunately was like, he's not wearing the headphones, so who did she see?
Right.
Because the entire time through this entire fucking movie, he's got these same goddamn headphones sitting around his neck, which I don't understand why people do that. It chokes me.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Can't happen. But the second I saw him after that, I was like, he doesn't have the headphones on. And I didn't think he had the headphones on all day.
Well, I was just like, that's not him, because that's how this movie goes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's rom-com rules. But
Yeah.
If it had, that would have been a plot twist. I would have been like, oh shit.
I was kind of hoping it was, because I've
Yeah.
been like,
I
oh,
was a
that could have been
little secretly
interesting.
hoping it was.
I was secretly hoping it was too. I was like, oh, and now things are going to get real spicy in here. I thought we were going to have like a crazy stupid love moment where like everything just comes crashing down and you're like, whoa. But no.
Well, everything does come crashing down. I mean, before that, Margot and her siblings, because they're all bonding over taking down.
I loved that.
I loved. I was like,
all in.
I was like, that's classic sibling energy. You point us all against one person. Oh,
Oh,
man, we tighten up quick.
Bitch, you're done.
Yeah.
We can fuck with each other all we want. You don't get to fuck with them. Those my people to fuck with,
Yeah.
not yours.
I also love their chaos monkey thing. That definitely.
Oh, yeah.
They did it just right, where it felt like this is something that they have gone and done before, where they were
Yes.
like, this is our fuck your shit up.
Guess what?
Hype.
Chaos monkey!
Chaos monkey! They start pounding their chests.
It had the vibe of, we've been doing this since we were 6 years old.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And we have no shame about it whatsoever at this point.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, fuck it. This is just something we do.
But when they did that, they tipped over the cake, which Jim baked for her wedding.
Which was not, it was fucking funfetti. It was not a fancy cake at all.
It didn't, it
Yeah.
wasn't a
It
very
was like, I made it
attractive
myself.
cake.
It's like, We can tell.
Oh, we can tell.
Yeah.
And he like made the figurines on top too.
Oh, they were.
We could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cake toppers.
Apparently it tasted pretty good though.
Yeah, well, funfetti tastes good.
Yeah. Box cakes taste good. You know why? Because they perfected the formula. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason it works.
But they also knock over the shot tower,
Mm-hmm.
which hits a, I don't know, candle or some flame. And then Jenny is just like, gets a fireball to the face. And I was like, Curl, at some point you just got to know you're done.
I don't know how many signs you need to not go through this wedding, but they were on fire, literally.
Yeah.
Well, also she got punched in the face the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Margot
With the
got too
microphone.
drunk. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously the venue issue.
At some point you just got to be like, the universe is saying no.
No.
No to this.
Yeah.
How about not?
Well, another example of like the difference of maturity and both in the characters and in the relationships being portrayed is one thing that I always think is a tell as to whether or not a couple should be getting married is if they're too focused on the show, right? They don't really care. They're not thinking about like the actual promise and commitment that they're making in that time. And instead they're thinking about, are the flowers just right? Does the cake look perfect? Do I have this? And like, it's like, that all that shit, if it goes away and you still don't want to get married, you shouldn't be. And they were like, it sucks that all the hard work that was put into this and this beautiful moment we wanted to have was ruined pretty spectacularly, but I still want to get married to you, so we're gonna make this work.
And she looked cute in that little flowery dress.
She did. Oh,
Wait,
okay.
have we switched to the other couple now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You thought that the young couple was the mature couple I was talking about?
No, I thought you were just using an example of a mature couple to say that the young couple was immature.
No,
Not
I was talking about the
specifically
actual
the
mature couple in the movie. Sorry, I lost you there.
I was gone.
Sometimes we just are.
To be fair, getting confused watching this movie, not difficult.
No.
There was a lot going on.
Well, and I mean, we're talking about all these weddings and stuff, and we haven't really talked about what the whole movie is truly about, which is Margot and Jim's rivalry, animosity.
There's supposedly rivalry to lovers, and I'm like,
That was a twist at the end that I was like, no, thank you.
I kind of actually like them together.
It didn't make a lick of sense.
because they didn't set it up at all.
No.
In the movie. And I was like, I was getting pretty far in. I was like, I thought this was supposed to be a rom-com. That's weird. Oh well, we'll go with it. We're going with the flow. And I was like, oh, there it is, I guess, at the end.
They didn't do it correctly. They should have like set it up much sooner to like, oh, we're getting more common ground and kind of they should have ended up like working together to fix both weddings as opposed to completely destroying fucking everything.
Right?
Like that's where they should have gone with it.
I honestly, that moment where they met out on the golf course, that's where I thought the switch was going to be, where he was going to say, I did fuck up, I did do this, but I've got these resources.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make this up to you. Let me make this happen.
Yeah. Also, you're the CEO of fucking Delta. You can fly them somewhere to elope them or something. Like,
right?
Yeah, it definitely felt like there was too many back and forths, like you said, because it starts out almost right away.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is going fine. They're having the rehearsal dinners, and then it rains, and Jim and their party, which was outside, has to come inside. And just from that moment for the next hour, it was just them fighting back and forth without any glimpse at all of them having any sort of romantic interest in each other.
yeah.
Other than Jenny being like to her dad, why are you so obsessed with her?
Yeah.
Right.
That was it.
And her sister says it to her at some point too. She's like, why are you so obsessed with him?
But like, she's justified because he's doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and they're doing crazy shit to each other.
Yeah, but he did crazy shit first.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, he is ground zero for the crazy shit. I'm not saying she didn't do her own stuff, but like,
Well, the rehearsal dinner was all accidental.
Yeah.
It was annoying for everybody, but it was accidental.
Right.
And then everything goes south when Margot and her family are they're gossiping about the sexy duet between dad and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that he does her hair and makeup.
Yeah.
And
which I thought that was cute.
I did love that because it shows that like because his wife died, he went over the top to try to learn everything he could to help her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you have to assume, I think kind of based on the pictures, that mom died when she was pretty young.
Yes.
Which is why he knows how to do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I also totally understood where Margot's energy was coming from, of like, she probably didn't mean half the things she said, but when you get in that dynamic where you're looking for somebody to point the arrow at other than yourself, and you also don't want to take anybody else out, going for a completely neutral target in the room feels like a safest option.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, because Margot's getting like, people are bad mouthing her because she got drunk at the rehearsal dinner, right?
Yeah.
And even Nevi is like mad at her. So of course she's going to try to be like, no, look at them over there. They're weird.
Which I honestly thought maybe the turnaround was going to start with the rehearsal dinner because she did get so drunk trying to protect her sister because her sister was getting real stressed out and trying to drink, and she's pregnant and can't do that.
Yeah.
Which didn't like that. Didn't like that at all.
You can technically
You can
have a certain amount of alcohol.
Yeah, I think you can have like a glass of wine.
They should have just let her have a sip and then like, okay, we're going to take
you
the
have a
rest
sip.
away from
Now
you.
I'm going
Like,
to have the rest of this.
you can have a controlled approach to it. It does not need to be either chug the entire glass of wine or I don't get to have anything.
Right.
But I thought that maybe the understanding and the coming around kind of situation was going to be, he knows she's too drunk. Because he did. He knew she was too drunk. He was trying to take care of the situation. And I thought maybe the understanding was going to come a little bit from there, where he helped her out of this situation, but instead it went to the weird duet thing.
I think it would have been nice if that would have happened, and then the next day they kind of she apologized to him and said thank you, and he was like, I'm sorry we had to come in and ruin your rehearsal dinner, but obviously we were rained out. And then maybe some shenanigans, because at least we would have had a foundation of them kind of connecting before
kind of being okay with each other.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, what would have been a better choice for the movie, especially because it would kind of flip the script, because there's a lot of wedding movies like this where there is basically an attack on the prettiness of the wedding or whatever, right? Would be if instead they were like, okay, we've already fucked up too much, so we're gonna tag team and we're gonna like give these two the best wedding, and then just random circumstances kept happening that made it insane.
Right.
I think that would be way more fun.
Yes.
And would bring them together faster, and you could see them building a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when they started to sabotage each other, they went for the fucking jugular, and so it's hard to come back. So Jim and Jenny's wedding had the doc first, and they were supposed to have like a 20-minute fucking wedding and then turn it over. And Jim, who was officiating, he made it last the entire sunset. So Nevi and Margot only got like 10 minutes. And then like that would have been one thing.
Yeah.
But to then hire the boat captain, Fortune Femur, I can't remember how to pronounce her last name. That's a bummer. And she trashed the dock while they were on it.
Well, and he only meant for her to go by once, and it like a little splish splash and be gone. But then she couldn't really see him, and she thought he was saying, yeah, do it again. And when she comes by the second time, the wave gets bigger and the dock goes down with everybody on it.
I have to say, at the end, when the owner was saying like, or they were talking about having to pay this bill to fix the dock, I was like, actually, your employee did that.
Yep.
And the safety of this space that you have put people on might get you sued, bitch.
Yeah, it shouldn't have collapsed after just a little wave.
Nope.
Yeah, shouldn't have happened.
That's not how that should
wave
go.
Guy. It was just a wave.
Yeah.
I will say it would be really hard for me to come back from that and then somehow find a way to like the person who did that.
Yeah.
Let alone want a romantic thing with them, because you're fucking petty. Like, you overheard a conversation where I was saying some mean things about you, so you ruined my sister's wedding.
Well, and that's the thing about it too, is they're not going directly for each other.
Right.
They're affecting their loved ones arguably one of the most important days in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to Jim's point, like it was the entire bridal party that was bad mouthing him and his daughter.
I mean,
True, but still,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta rise above, man.
Well, yeah, you don't fuck with somebody's wedding.
No, you have to do way worse for me to get even half as petty.
Yeah.
And so I would like, if I saw someone behavior like that, I would be like, no way.
So I completely understand why Margot's reaction when Jim fesses up to it is to be like, Chaos Monkey, we're taking him down.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And they honestly didn't do nearly a comparable amount of damage.
No.
They ruined the fucking cake. And the like fireball thing was completely incidental.
Yes.
And honestly could have happened at any other point in the wedding.
Yeah.
With the way that those kids were bouncing around.
But they also gave those kids like a really cool moment. So one of the shows that Margot produces is some sort of dance competition, but everybody is like fully in costume.
Yeah,
So
it's called Masquerade.
yeah, you know, it's a spin on the
Masked Singer.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so for some reason that I could not figure out, they happen to have the costume of the zebra from the show.
I think it's because her assistant was there.
But
And
why would he have the costume?
I think he can just pull. Like that, you can literally say, get me this thing here right now.
Right, but the costume should be in LA and they're in Georgia.
Don't worry
Suspension
about
of disbelief.
it. Yeah.
Well, my disbelief was not suspended.
I also thought the same thing. You're not the only one who was like, but why do they have that?
Why?
Unless he is actually secretly that person, but he's not because he really can't fucking dance.
Yeah. All he did was just kind of like two-step a little. But, you know, everybody at the other wedding was super like, oh my gosh, it's the zebra.
Yeah, they thought they were like getting this really special treat.
Yeah. Honestly, Jim obviously knows that Margot did all of this, but nobody else had to. It was just like they danced and accidentally hit the cake. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
The other thing about Jim and his fucking bullshit is that the whole bridesmaid making out with the groom or groomsman debacle is his fucking fault too, because she flat out just asks him over and over and over again. Jenny's like, did you see him do this? And he's like, that's what was seen. And you're not even gonna admit that it wasn't seen by you?
Well, and the logical thing would have been for him, again, I know this is not a logic movie, but the logical thing would have, because she wasn't trying to go tell Jim this. Margot was not trying to go tell Jim this. She was trying to go talk to Jenny about it. So why didn't you just pull her in with Jenny, like pull them both to the side and be like, hey, this is what Margot saw. We maybe need to have a conversation with your boy.
Well, and he didn't even believe it until he got upset because the groom, whatever the fuck his name is, Oliver. That just hopped into my head.
Wow.
Magic.
I didn't remember either.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't seem like his name should be Oliver.
No, he doesn't look like an Oliver. At best, an Ollie. But like Oliver tells Jim, oh, well, actually, we're going to a different city. Can't remember which one, instead of Atlanta.
Memphis, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, I know what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and just tell my daughter that I saw him making out with his
It's
bridesmaid.
basically revenge on her, which is such bullshit.
Yeah, he's a completely irrational human being.
Yep.
Well, and Jenny brings it up a lot too, like, ugh, he's just gonna get mad at, and then he's gonna come back and be like, I'm sorry, and everything's gonna be fine. He's just whatever. And I mean, she gives in. She does the same thing with him.
Immediately.
Yeah, they're mad at each other 1 second, and then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry about it. But yeah, they're not only is their attachment extremely unhealthy, which does come up because Jenny's like, I feel like if I'm not happy, you're not happy, and like all of your happiness, Dad, is on me. But their communication and their emotional intelligence is no good.
Mm-mm.
No, but they think it's amazing.
I know.
Like, because they act like those little snippets of arguing and forgiving each other, blah, 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 are them having good communication. And it's kind of the opposite because they're not actually talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just throwing buzzwords at each other and hoping one of them sticks.
Well, especially with the goon squad that is her bridesmaids that are like constantly throwing up red flags of like, you're sexist, this is gaslighting, and the whole time you're like, No.
No.
You got it all wrong every time. And I did love at the end when one of them finally was like, what is gaslighting? And he had to give them a textbook definition.
Yes.
Yeah, he just pulls the definition out and it's like, oh, I don't think I've been using that right. No, you haven't, ma'am.
No. The whole time they're like, you're gaslighting. And it's like, no.
That's not what that is.
No.
No. So after Jenny finds out the truth and that her dad, Margot ruined a lot of aspects of Jenny's wedding. Her dad completely ruined her wedding.
Yes.
Mhm.
And probably could have done it all on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, of course, she leaves the island. She's like, no, I'm out of here. I'm going to take my new husband and we're leaving.
Me and my husband are going to go have a conversation, which clearly they then do because they actually decide to annul the wedding then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when Jim goes into the lake and rustles an alligator.
Yep. And that's where it goes kind of off the rails.
I was already off the rails.
It was already off the rails, but it really went way off.
Yeah. The alligator scene came up and I was like, you've got to be shitting me. We're doing this? All right.
You know, the energy that this movie was giving me for Will Ferrell was like if his character in Step Brothers got slightly more mature, found a woman willing to marry him, had a kid, and was now dealing with her getting married, same energy. And
Yeah.
don't marry the guy from Step Brothers. It's not cute. You think he's funny, and then you realize, nope, he's just weird. He's just weird and dumb. Life advice from Wiggles.
I do appreciate, this is such a weird thing to appreciate. So in a lot of movies, they make Reese Witherspoon a lot taller in a lot of the movies she's in so that she's actually like on a closer level with the guy that she's supposed to be with. Didn't do that in this one.
Well, they had her in heels, but I mean, it's Will Ferrell. The man's what, 6'3", 6'5", some shit like that?
Yeah, I think he's 6'3".
You can't make Reese Witherspoon, who is a foot shorter than him, a foot taller.
It must be a struggle to constantly be in those heels, though, in every movie you're in. My God.
Yeah.
Well, especially walking across grass.
Just let her be with a short actor. Fuck, man.
Or just accept the fact that people don't have to be the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Also, I realized through going through the process of watching this movie, I have no earthly idea how old Reese Witherspoon is. Like, I know that she's older than me. I have that contextual information because I know Cruel Intentions came out before I was old enough to watch it.
Legally Blonde was when I was in middle school. So
The internet says she is 49. Will Ferrell is 57. And that man looked in his 67 in this movie.
the constant jokes about him dyeing his hair, that I loved. I don't dye my hair. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
I have to tell you, I really do dye my hair.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
I liked when he was like, well, how could you tell? And she's like, it's a different color than your beard.
Which, to be fair, some guy's beard just
Yes.
does that.
That's actually a pretty common thing.
Yeah, I don't know how those two get together at the end. The only thing I will say for that whole sequence is the part at the end where she's like getting flashbacks of him like glaring at her and then doing his like, I'm into your face. Cracked me up. And the longer it went, the funnier it was.
He was just his like, I'm into you face. Right. So Reese's family, Margot's family decides that they're going to help Jim go after his daughter. And Jenny is explaining to Margot at the very end when everybody's happy, oh no, he's really into you. He keeps smiling at you. And the smile that Will Ferrell does is the creepiest motherfucking smile.
So
I'm like, oh no.
even Margot's like, oh, that's his into you face. Okay.
She must like it though, because she does end up with him.
Yeah, she made it work.
It still doesn't make any sense because it's not up until that moment that we get any inkling that there's something going on, and we have 10 minutes left in the movie.
I would argue 10 pretty useless.
Yes,
minutes.
Useless. It didn't need to be there.
I will say when they do like are showing them that they are together. It has been 6 months. So at least there's that. It's not like the next weekend they're together.
That would be funny as shit, though. Like, hey, we're going on a date now. And she's like, yeah, remember that time you ruined my sister's wedding? So cute.
So cute.
So cute.
Remember that time you made an alligator bite me for no fucking reason?
Yeah. I remember the time that you wrestled an alligator and brought it into my hotel room because you thought you were going to let it loose.
That's
And
how I knew you were the one for me.
Yeah. That was it. Right then
It
and
was
there.
that face smiling at me that I remember.
I'll never forget.
God.
I'll never forget.
Oh, man.
Love at first bite.
No, that's the vampire books that we read. But then Jim proposes at the end. So that happens.
Well, starts to, and then she's like, no. And then he tosses the ring at Jenny.
Yeah. But then Margot's like, well, what if we just elope?
I thought you didn't want to get married. Well, no, I don't like weddings.
I mean, I wouldn't either after all that shit.
Yeah, no
Right?
shit.
Traumatized. And you're marrying that trauma.
Yeah.
Weird vibe.
And then they sing together.
Ugh.
Islands in the sun. Da-na-na-na-na. I don't know the words, but I'll keep going.
Well, that's the end of the movie. And I don't got anything else to say.
Nope, me neither.
So
I don't either. And so when we're out of words and we're dumb as shit, we go, ratings time.
what is your spice rating?
There was none.
Fucking zero.
0. Yeah.
They didn't even kiss, I don't think.
They did.
Oh.
It was a little tiny kiss at the end, a little baby kiss.
The spiciest part, I think, was the bride making out with the hotel host.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, my God.
That poor sweet boy.
Yeah. Okay, so a big old goose egg there. What about your romance rating?
I gotta go like 0.
I'll give it a 0.5. Just...
Yeah, I feel like a 0.5, but that's for Nevi and Dixon and
Yes.
not Jim
You know
and
what?
Margot.
Okay. You talked me up to a 0.5, but 2 things I want to point out to you. One,
Yeah.
that means that we have not 1 but 2.
Gavel gavels!
We gotta do it again.
Oh, we have to do it again. Gavel gavel! Neat.
Dose gavels. So overall,
I mean, it was funny at
Was
times.
it, Danny? Was it?
At times.
it had its moments.
The line of, I produce a show called Is That Dead? That is not dead.
I had such a problem with the writing, though, because I know Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon can act, and yet it sounded like they were bad at acting, which means the writing was bad.
Yeah.
The dialogue writing was not good.
It was not set up to really showcase either of their things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying Will Ferrell needs to scream in every movie he's in, but I'm just saying they've not been hits when he doesn't. And you can take that to the bank. And this is a movie where it would make sense for him to scream.
There's a lot of moments that were worthy of screaming.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that was a big mistake.
So I'll tell you, my overall rating is a 2, and that's a very generous 2.
I will give it a 2.5. It made me giggle in a couple of places.
All right.
I'm going to go as high as a 3, shockingly. But mostly because it's got some decent quotable moments. Like, one of my favorite moments is when Gwenny is talking about her fucking bird bath, and she's like, so I got this bird bath, and they put the bird bath in, and then they put a like little moat around the bird bath. Now it looks like it's a grave.
Yeah, now it looks like it's a headstone.
I had to get off sugar.
I just feel like they spent their money incorrectly, because what we didn't talk about is Peyton Manning was in it for a little bit.
Right. Why?
And then Nick Jonas was the pastor.
Yeah.
And I was like, those were 2 cameos that you could have cut and put the money somewhere else.
You could have done anything else.
Yeah.
Correct.
Anything else. And so it's a weak 3. A very weak 3. Couldn't even lift a gallon of milk. So I guess.
Recommendations. Oh, I'm feeling feisty. It's Friday. I'm going to start.
Okay.
Mostly because I don't want you to take it. I'm going to recommend Anyone But You, because I feel like they did a lot of this concept a lot better.
Correct.
Which also, check out our episode. The romance, there was more romance in it. There was some spice in it. That was nice for a movie. But the whole premise of like going to a wedding, having a like rivals dislike to lovers thing, and the farcical funny elements in Anyone But You I thought were way better than this one.
I would agree with that. I am actually going to go Sweet Home Alabama.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, there's the wedding shenanigans to a degree. There's also the class system a little bit. Different class system because there's more of like a redneck side of things versus the kind of entitled younger generation versus like more mature. But that's a thing. It's a rom-com done right though. I know there is some issues with Sweet Home Alabama. It did not necessarily age 100% well, but I do still enjoy it.
I think we talk about that every time Sweet Home Alabama comes up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it holds true.
Okay, so my recommendation is Bride Wars for obvious reasons. If you don't know the premise of that, it's Kate Hudson and
Anne Hathaway, isn't it?
Anne Hathaway, thank you. I was thinking one of her character names. I was like, please stop. Get out of here. Get out of here. Anyway, they are both getting married on the same day. They want the same venue. Like it's the same movie, just different headliners and different perspective leads, right? So it's the two brides instead of the two family members planning the wedding. So if you liked this, you'll definitely be into that. Go check it out. I'm not gonna give you any more. That movie's been out for like, I don't know, 15 years or something
like that.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode, folks. If you like this episode, you can find us out there at the socials at Wrong Dust Jackets, primarily on TikTok and Instagram, but you can find us anywhere: Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Threads. You'll find us. And you can go to our website, wrongdustjackets.com, where you'll find a list of episodes coming up, as well as ones we've done in the past and our blog post. And we would like it, love it. It'd make me so happy if you liked, give us 5 stars, comment, rate, review, whatever's available to you in your podcast listening app. That'll help us in the algorithm. That's all I got. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.